What's up, everybody? This is Ripples in Wales, back for another video. I hope you're all doing well and having a great day wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing. Oh, my phone's just woken up. So, we're going to go over a quick news flash today on a few things. I'm going to try and keep this short. It's Tuesday, it's sunny here in Wales. We're enjoying the weather, so we're going to spend a bit of time outside today. So we'll get this done in quick fashion, see if we can get a couple out for you today. So, a few news stories breaking, which is quite interesting today. I see the PayPal have released a stablecoin, which is it's released a spark of wave fake payment tokens, PYUSD. There's been a lot of controversy around PayPal. PayPal USD boom for Ethereum, but not for decentralization since community. You've got to be really careful with these Cointelegraphs, these cryptocurrency news. They're all owned. They are totally owned. And for years they've been kind of favoring the Bitcoin and Ethereum communities, giving kind of, super good premise to those and ignoring the other projects that weren't VC funded and backed. And, I'm not saying Bitcoin was VC backed, but Ethereum certainly was to a great degree with those wallets. What else? Kathy Wood predicts simultaneous SEC for the ETFs. Very interesting. And MicroStrategy also saying that that Bitcoin is on course for its spot ETF approval, which is kind of interesting because remember Bearable Guy had a hammer above the mantelpiece and Bitcoin green sock on the end of September on the mantelpiece. This is all really tying in. I wonder if we're about to see it. They all know institutionally that they're going to get their ETF applications. Ether ETF applications flood the SEC as ProShares files for the 11th one. They've said categorically no, Ethereum will not be getting an ETF for now, so that because of the corruption that's been involved. Yeah, interesting, right? So we're seeing stable coins on the PayPal network be released and whatnot. What else did I see here was interesting? I think, was it this channel? I'm not certain it was. Everyone's talking about XRP price extensions in the correction phase. Well, we'll go over that in a bit. It's nothing kind of new that we're seeing a corrective phase occur on the XRP chart, which is standard, as expected. UK set to expand its national crypto crime unit as organised blockchain fraud surges. Well, we knew this was coming. Eyeball scanning crypto project WorldCoin warehouse raided in Kenya by the police. Well, this is the problem with this. Now the police and the government have got control of the kit. They can ask and subpoena for the data. And if all of their credentials and their ID and everything are in there, then we've got problems because now the state owns the data. So things that you've got to take care of and be mindful of with these projects is your data and your privacy. It should be paramount. So David Schwartz, Joel Katz popped onto a space and he started talking about the possibility of two reserve world currencies. I'm going to play it for you, have a listen. It's 3 minutes long. We'll have a listen to it.
There can be two existing world reserve currencies to simultaneously exist. I do, and I think that could happen. I think it's quite realistic that a lot of the world is just done with the dollar as the reserve currency. And I think that there's a lot of places that are willing to try something else. And one of my scenarios, and I don't think it's going to play out quickly, but like one of my wild case success scenarios for a digital asset is if countries start to realize that the U.S. dollar is not going to be the reserve currency forever. Other things are going to be the reserve currency, and the same thing that we saw with banks. Like people, when we started selling software to banks, people would say to me, why would a bank use something that like you guys were selling them when they could use something that was like made by banks? And what they didn't realize is that, only like 10 banks in the country, on the planet, are Deutsche Bank, HSBC, Credit Suisse, JP Morgan Chase, like the ones who would build a system that the entire planet would run on. For the rest of the banks, that's 6,000 smaller banks, those are their biggest, strongest competitors. Those are the entities they hate the most. They would not want to use the system built and maintained by them because it's going to be biased in favor of them, their biggest and strongest competitors. And I think the same thing could happen to nations. Like, every nation would love for their currency to be the world reserve currency. That's helped the U.S., that's grown the U.S. economy, quote unquote, unfairly by leaps and bounds for decades. And every other country would be like, yeah, we'd like to have the world be the world reserve currency. But the only countries that could possibly pull it off is the U.S. holding its position, maybe the EU, maybe Russia, maybe one or two others. But realistically, most countries know that if there's going to be a new world reserve currency that's a country's currency, it's not going to be them. And so they might actually prefer a currency that nobody can control to one that's controlled by their largest geopolitical rivals. And so that's like what I think is the biggest possible success scenario for digital assets. If these countries are like, okay, well, the U.S. dollar can't hold on forever, but it's not going to be our currency because no one's going to want to repeat the U.S. dollar. Nobody but the EU wants the EU to replace the dollar, right? Nobody but Russia wants the ruble to replace the dollar. Nobody but China wants the yuan to replace the dollar. So maybe they could settle on a currency that nobody could control rather than one controlled by their most powerful geopolitical rival. So if you want a success scenario, that's the one that I think is the most likely.
But the money question is, how do you...
Wow. Do you see that, what he just outlined for you there? He just outlined the fact that there are so many geopolitical reasons why nobody wants to use someone else's reserve world currency, and we're moving into this kind of this state of affairs now, as told by the BRICS nations many moons ago by the insiders. They talked about this. They said that we can go back to Marvin Gaye pictures, the Ross van der Meers, who showed BRICS in the centre of this. You've got a massive group of countries now that are very sensitive to using anyone's currency because of the geopolitical fashions. And could they use some other form of currency? And again, the word global reserve world currency. Wow, it's a big stake, that. But David Schwartz is saying, yeah, there is. I can see a scenario that it might occur. It's just that this is a long game. Global reserve world currencies don't happen overnight. They occur over a huge timeline. Yeah, decades to wane off. The dollar is not dead by any means yet, but for payments and cross-border solutions, nobody wants to use something that's being used as a weapon. Really interesting, that. Anyway, moving forward, there was the talk about how the digital pound will coexist with other forms of payment. Well, we know the Bank of England's been in talk with the XRPL, and will CBDCs likely become just another payment rail like Apple Pay, Visa card? Let's have a listen to what the Digital Pound Foundation have got to say.
Is that people have enough to worry about, and worrying about, is this £10 worth £10, or what can I do with this £10, that we've done things wrong. And I think that there are definite improvements in your everyday life that will be enabled, but it should be viewed as just another rail in which to spend money. And that money has a singleness to it. So right now I can send a faster payment, or I can use a Visa or a MasterCard, or I can use PayPal to pay online. But I don't think, okay, the PayPal money is e-money and the Visa and MasterCard is credit. And I don't have to think about any of this. I just send money to you via faster payments because it's easy. Or I use my debit card because it's convenient, or I tap my Apple Pay. And what we want to see are new, more interesting use cases where I can buy a newspaper article for 10p instead of having to subscribe to the publication for £15 a month. Where corporate treasurers, instead of using BACS payments that take 3 days to settle and cost 25p each, can set up programmable payments on a blockchain that doesn't even necessarily look like a blockchain, but it just makes things more traceable, instantly arrive, cheaper to send. These are the kind of powers that we want to unlock.
Different types of rails. We're talking about multi-channels of rails. This is what I'm saying. It's not going to go to all one. There's going to be a multitude of options. If companies want to use a faster option, that's going to be there. And as that adoption grows over the faster option of choosing different kind of rails over time, you can see that will grow. But equally, the fiat's not going to go away, the debit card's not going to go away. people's options to use Google, Apple, and all the rest of that, they're all going to coexist. And eventually I can see them merging at the far end of what I talk about 2030, where everything is kind of more streamlined in Web3, used for robotics payments and micropayments on the actual Web3 channel. It's so important that you guys go and learn about Web3, the metaverse, the Internet of Value, the Internet of Things, and payments for robotics. This is where this is all going. If you're not looking at that, you're looking at kind of today's news and not seeing the horizon. And seeing the horizon gives you such more of a kind of clear picture of how important it is to hold on to these for a longer duration, potentially. Anyway, Jack the Rippler posted this, which was an OG one we'd seen back in 2017-18. This has been up thousands of times in my timeline. It refers to the derivatives market, which Ripple just took a step into the other day by... who was it? It was Ripple joined the... Oh, have I found it? I've jumped it. So I think it was Ripple joined the... Enter the derivative space. Where are we? They joined a consortium of... hold on, we'll come back to the media. We'll find it now. There was a great article. Let's find it here. There it is. Just past it there. The ISDA. They joined the ISDA and became a member of the International Swaps and Derivatives Association, dominating the... Well, we don't know that yet, that the ISDA runs a 1.2 quadrillion derivatives market alongside JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and BNY Mellon. And we'd been told by the previous media I just pulled up a minute ago for you about the XRP Ripple derivatives picture, which was by Jack the Rippler. Have we lost it now? We've probably lost it, haven't we? My word, that went quickly. It should be there still. Anyway, it's gone. So the derivatives picture that I pulled up a minute ago, that was the kind of the insiders picture of what they thought the Ripple could go to in the day, which is a massive quadrillion dollar market, and Ripple's just entered it. Anyway, we went on to Quincy Jones. He was talking about the use case of potential how to view XRP, and I'm gonna play this for you. This is really good
because it's almost like how you if you almost look at dollars, right? The majority of dollars aren't sitting around floating around in people's hands or in bank accounts. They're literally sitting on some balance sheet somewhere as some sort of representation of value for some company to tap into later. And that's the exact same thing's going to happen with XRP. The majority of XRP out there isn't just going to be sitting around floating around between people doing petty transactions. It's going to be on the back end books for settlements for big organizations. And it's mostly going to be not really sitting, because a lot of it's going to be moving, but it's going to be, a lot of it's going to be accumulated. It's going to be sitting, it's the same way dollars are sitting on a balance sheet, the same way XRP will be sitting on a balance sheet in the future. And there's going to be a lot of XRP on a lot of different balance sheets being ready to be used for instant payments. And because they'll be sitting on those balance sheets, that circulating supply for just general XRP, just for the sake of having XRP, as opposed to just using it to, me paying my bills from another company in XRP, that little bit floating around is really going to cause that supply demand, spike, whatever it may be. Yeah.
So what he's trying to say is that the XRP is an instrument of value, okay, which means that you can tokenize anything onto the ledger, and XRP serves as the kind of the minibus to drive that value round. Okay, it's a liquidity tool, and what they're referring to liquidity tool is that kind of that minibus analogy, like a camper van. Okay, you can pack whatever you want in that camper van, whether it's gold, diamonds, and this is the value. You'd get like a ledger value proposition. So you wanted to tokenize, I don't know, $1 million worth of diamonds on the XRPL and shift it from here to Nigeria, from the UK to Nigeria. You can tokenize that on the XRPL. You can put it, literally create a token, and your XRP can transfer the value of that down there to the other side between A and B. So it acts as a kind of a shuttle bus, a trusted value creation protocol that can move from A to B. And he was saying that most of the XRP is going to be held on big wholesale institution balance sheet to shuttle big buses of money around, and other forms of value. And he has another good video here where he talks again, and this was in the Reborn 13. What was it, in the Reborn 13 podcast? Yeah, it was brilliant, this.
So anybody out there that's telling you they'll know where the price of XRP will go, Has no idea. Zero, absolutely zero clue. But I'll give you a tiny hint of an idea of what could happen. So XRP it's a financial instrument of value, and that instrument is basically, the instrument's really liquidity between different other instruments like bonds, stocks, currencies, all everything basically. Yeah. And the XRP is only worth the value of the things that are issued on it, because it would cost XRP to buy those things on the network and use that liquidity.
Boom.
So what ends up happening here is, not only do you have to issue all of the equity, but you've also got to issue all of the debt. So XRP is only bound by the fiscal responsibility of the people that issue assets on it, which is obviously irresponsible. So XRP could be at $100, $100,000, $1 million. It depends on how many assets you want to issue onto the network. So if you wanted to issue, $100 trillion worth of equity, cool. That's a lot of money on the network. What happens if they want to issue another $500 million worth of debt? That also adds value to the network. So there really is a mind-blowing amount of wealth, essentially, that could basically be flowing through these networks that we can't even comprehend because of that debt question of being able to issue more and more and more value in the form of...
Very interesting. So you get the understanding that everything will be tokenized, everything will be fractionalized, everything will be on-chain, and that XRP will be a liquidity tool in order to move this around. And this kind of leans into that first post I brought you in to do the derivatives market. As a trusted liquidity provider, XRP can add value to that sector, as it can payments and things like that. This is Quincy Jones. If you don't know who he is, I can try and find him on here for you. So he deserves a shout out. He's a brilliant young mind. Hope we can find him on here actually. He used to have him on here. Okay, we'll see. It's Quincy Jones XRP. We might not be able to find it, but we'll have a quick gander. Just give him a. Is he tagged in any of these? No, he's not, is he? Oh well, you'll have to find him on YouTube. Give him a search. You'll find him out. He's around. I think he's called Coins Club Quincy. One last search quickly for you. Coins Club Quincy, if I remember. My mind served me correct. Quincy. Maybe not. Maybe he's changed his handle. We'll find him anyway. Anyway, this leads me on to Bob Way, what he used to talk about, and he talked about 180 fiat currencies, plus gold and silver and some of the crypto assets as well. And he was referring back to a post that Darren Moore said. He said, Darren Moore said, I believe I can see the future. And he posted, I think it's the G8 currencies, or G7 currencies plus an extra one. And then, with XRP in the middle. And Bob Way corrected him, saying, no, that's cool, but you can add another 100 currencies to that, which is the level playing field, which is the full CDBC 2030 horizon. Probably, I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm having to guess like you lot, but for all the CDBCs to eventually be in circulation, I don't know. That was the goal. I mean, who knows whether it'll work out like that? It's a thing. That was the dream. So there's another a real interesting kind of, what do we call it? It's an index. This is an altcoin season index that I found recently. I've seen someone repost, and it's to give you an idea of where you are in the cycle. And it's in Bitcoin season here. We'll just highlight this up now. You're in Bitcoin season at the minute, down the bottom, and when we're at 75 plus, you're in altcoin season. You can see you're heavily in Bitcoin season at the minute, and the index is likely to drop lower back into Bitcoin season as Bitcoin surges soon. We've got a long time before, crypto bull market yet, guys. Hence why I'm saying take profits if you get the chance and sit on the cash over the winter. And then, spring next year, you'll be able to reallocate. So that's the altcoin season index. Ripple have been posting recently. They've partnered with Centigrade Earth to bring transparency and trust to the card market. We know they're going down the green route. This is what Ripple is doing in a minute. They're pushing hard on the media campaigns as well, talk about SMEs and how 90% markets they seem to be targeting, amongst many others. There's a lady here who's been hacked, her ledger, and it seems that the situation was she bought her ledger from a third party. Many people have fallen for this. Everyone who's in my circle of trust, I've always said to them, I send them the ledger link. I don't even send them an affiliate link. It's more a case of, this is the way you should buy it from. I had a friend who bought one from Amazon, a really smart chap in Sweden, a good mate of mine. He was a CEO who ended up buying one on Amazon. And he was like, well, why do I need to send this back? He was furious that he had to. And I said, for heaven's sakes, this is ridiculous. Send it back and just listen to me. because they're tampered with already. And so, very cleverly, people can repackage ledger devices on third-party websites and impregnate them with, they've already got your seeds. So, you know, it's just a malware operation, and this lady, bless her, she's lost thousands of XRPs, been stolen. I've had a couple of neighbours that have been hacked by plugging their ledger into a URL that was not ledger, even though they had it on their laptops. Yeah, the actual downloaded Ledger Live app. So the point of this story, guys, is only buy your ledger or trusted party software called storage device from the actual website. Okay, and take great care looking after your crypto. It is so valuable. These scammers in all parts of the world, a lot of them in India and Pakistan, are going mad and creating many situations where they are desperate to get your hands on your cryptocurrencies. And I'm not just singling out India and Pakistan, but I know that the vast majority of scammers come from there. So just be mindful about that. And yeah, that doesn't mean that all the people from that region are bad. Just highlighting a point that we've seen time and time again. And this is Coin's crypto. Sorry to push that, buddy. Crypto Insight UK is a good friend on the Twitterverse. He's talking about what he thinks may come next with XRP. Let's have a listen.
How are we doing? It's Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you a TA video on XRP. I haven't managed to get one of these out for a little while because I've been busy over the weekend, and I'm just going to keep this short and sweet, just give you some of my thoughts on the market, what I think XRP could potentially do now. Obviously, it's not financial advice, and we're still within the range, so anything within this range is literally just guessing games until we break either support or resistance. I'm just giving you my best thoughts as to what potentially could happen from what I see. So we talked about this wave 1 in Elliott wave theory, how we could have a leading triangle in wave 1. We fall out of that wave to create wave 2, and we're still looking for the bottom of wave 2. Technically wave 1 could come all the way down, as long as it doesn't come lower than the start of wave 1, which you could even say started here. So you could say that was wave 1, wave 2 to come down to the support level at 55 cent, but it could technically come all the way down, guys, all the way to like 43 cent if that's where we think the wave started, or if we think it started at 47, some people might be taking it from there. It could come all the way down to 47 as long as it doesn't violate the previous low. That's the wave 2 that could come that low. That's just so we're clear. I personally believe and have been looking for XRP to pull back into the support box. We haven't quite got that pullback yet. We're just sitting above it now at the lowest we've worked down to is around 61 cent on this Qcoin chart. I was looking for anywhere between 59 and 55 cent, but I think it could come anywhere lower than that, all the way to about 54.5, 53 cent.
Wow, there you go. So you've got some targets to look at. This guy is pretty on it. He's a young, sharp mind in the space. So, you know, take your bets and don't be sad that it's dropping down. Take time to accumulate it. This is a positive thing. Be greedy when others are fearful, right? You know, that old chestnut. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. There's another channel that I follow here, Bobby A. He's pretty good on TA for Bitcoin and XRP. Just bringing it to the top of his banner. I'm really going to go over any of his stuff because he's, you know, he covers Bitcoin and XRP heavily, which I think are the two kind of more generous liquidity tokens. They're going to have the largest amount of liquidity pour into them over time. Yeah, going back to the XRP chart. Sorry, this is XDC. Sorry, beg your pardon. It's come down nicely now. Like I said, most people took some profits off the table, and we've seen dead cat bounce, and it's trying to find its way now to support. It's held quite well actually, considering, but we'll come back to that in future. XRP pulling back nicely into a support zone. This is not the support zone that Crypto Insights put. This is just my kind of positions where there's a double bottom here that I've got that marked out in blue across the page that I will have targets set up maybe. And we've got the Bitcoin chart consolidating lovely and getting ready for the next move higher. Thanks it guys. Well listen, please smash the like button and drop a comment. We had 23 comments in the thread yesterday of the previous Lodestar 3 letter that were released. So people seem to really like that one. Seemed to make a lot of sense to people, and I think it added some great perspective as to the BG Lodestar letters. Hopefully we can kind of debunk the craziness around that topic and bring some truth to light on it. It really helps when you smash the like on these. Set the notifications as well. My Twitter page is here. Come and say hi. Come and join. I'm quite active on Twitter. Come and say hello. And yeah, gonna go and have a look at some NFTs now. If the market's going to bottoming out in that sector, maybe make a couple more purchases and maybe play a couple of degen moves this afternoon. And then be looking to rotate into XRP as it falls back down. Anyway, have a good day wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing. And look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Be blessed.